Welcome to Sewing Out Loud, the official podcast of Zede Sewing Studio. Here are your hosts, Zede and Mallory.
Sewing Out Loud. Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Mallory Donahue.
I'm Zede Donahue.
And Zede just joined Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
It's been quite the technology day for you, I feel like.
Oh, really?
Because you're like, I'm joining Instagram. I'm confused. And then we had that like messed up podcast episode, and I showed you there's all these things. Don't feel bad because, you know, your son-in-law, well, he is older than me. Derek came up to me the other day and said, how do I get this podcast episodes to show from oldest to newest?
Oh, yeah.
To show him how to use his phone. And I just made fun of him for being, you know, all of 36 or whatever he is. So anyway,
he just
Mom.
had a birthday. What did he turn?
He's 36 now. Yeah, he's 36. Now, he asked this question when he was 35. So,
oh, okay. Did you show him the answer when he was 36 or 35?
35.
Okay.
He came in from doing work outside. He's like, hey, Mallory, I want these to play like this, not like this. And I made fun of him, and it was funny. Anyway, so Zede's on Instagram. I'm often telling you all.
At least I believe I am.
I'm telling you all that we're Zede's Sewing Studio on Instagram because that was like our original like business handle. But Mom's on there. Are you just Zede Donahue?
Yeah, just Zede Donahue, one word.
That's the best.
Yeah.
No, nobody stole your
I thought about
celeb
just
name.
doing Zede. I didn't try that, but I think there's a band like in Switzerland or something named
You can
Zede.
Change your handle.
Yeah, I know. I saw you could change it.
Yeah, you know. So anyway, right now you're Zede Donahue.
Right.
So you can follow Zede on Instagram. She'll be posting fun stuff. But today we're going to talk about sewing for changing body size.
Right.
Right? And we've covered a little bit about this.
Not even size, but maybe shape too.
Shape, body, changing body.
Just changing, like,
Changing
I
body.
think what sparked this podcast was we get a lot of, I'm losing a lot of weight, or I've gained a lot of weight, or I'm going to be losing a lot of weight, or my kids grow before I can finish, you know, the clothes I'm making for them. And then I personally, and I don't know if this has come up a lot, but I have had health issues that have caused me fitting issues.
Yeah.
Where, one of my problems was when I take a certain medication, my bust gets bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had like 3 different sets of blouses or, you know, tops.
And bras.
Yeah. I had to go. I have 3 different size bras I wear.
Your cup size.
3 different cup sizes.
Your cup size changes with this medication.
My cup size changes, right.
Yeah.
My cup size changes with medication. And actually, I complained to my doctor, and she said, well, most people wouldn't complain about that. And I said, well, it's not like surgically enhanced centerfold cup size.
Change or
yes,
increase.
It's like old lady drooping down my body cup size change. And so she understood that better then. Like, it's not any sort of beauty enhancement as far as I'm concerned.
Yes,
yeah.
It wasn't.
Well, no, in fact, I feel, you know, it feels uncomfortable. It's not me. It's, you know, it's just something that I'm uncomfortable
I will
with.
say that I really appreciate everyone in the group who has been so open about sharing like their journey, because sometimes weight loss is not like, I think in our society, we often think like, oh, it's good that you lost weight.
Right.
It's not always a good thing for everyone. You can be losing weight.
Well, and that's happened to me also.
Sure.
Right.
So you can be losing weight for, you know, like negative health reasons.
And actually, I might just put that in here because we talk a lot about what's offensive or not offensive to certain groups of people or something. And I have a disease where people oftentimes do lose a lot of weight.
Yeah.
And people will say to them, oh, well, you're really lucky you lost all that weight. And they're trying to put the weight on.
Right.
You know, and the other thing with my disease, my disease is Crohn's disease. Some people are very heavy with it. Mm-hmm. And part of it's medication. and people will say, well, you can't have that disease because you're too big or you're too fat or you. So don't make those judgments.
Right.
I mean, those people are struggling. You know, they've lost the ability to sort of be who they maybe once were.
So when we discuss stuff like this in the Self-Sewn Wardrobe group, I think that most of the time, when people present their problems, I'm really impressed.
Right.
Because someone said, I have an abdominal apron that I am dealing with. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm dealing with this extra skin. And I was like, wow, that's just very open of them to like share, and she said, I'm afraid this is too much information for this group. And I was like, oh no,
yeah, not this
don't worry
group.
about that, or we had, I can't remember her name. She has not been very active in the group, but she said, I've been losing a lot of weight. It's not a positive thing for me.
Right.
And then at one point during the conversation, I accidentally posted a TRex GIF.
That's right. And their hands were too small to get food to their mouth or whatever.
And then she says, oh my gosh, this is kind of funny because part of my illness is that like my hands don't work properly. I was like, that is not what I was talking about.
It was some sort of nerve issue, I believe, and she had some sort of tremor or something.
I'm really sorry that I cannot remember your name, but
I definitely remember her interaction.
Oh my god! And I don't know if Facebook has like fixed this by now, but like sometimes you just accidentally like you post a GIF. Like,
if you breathe, it goes on.
Yeah, and I was like, what? I didn't even want to do that, and it was like a T-Rex eating French fries, and she's like, it's funny because my nickname is Taha. Anyway,
she called herself T-Rex arms after that.
I'm really glad this person had a good sense of humor, and I didn't hurt their feelings. But everybody sort of gets to talk about their body however they wish, in the group.
Well, I guess another thing we haven't talked about is we have people that are transforming gender.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that can be that can be a possibility too.
And so I think that when you're asking for feedback in the group or describing a situation to a friend or a sewing consultant or whatever, try to just like be as clear as possible.
I think being frank is not bad. I mean, don't be gross, but
or
particularly,
don't share something you don't want to share. I'm not saying like in the group that you have to like share every detail of your life, but I think it can be important because sometimes people will say, I want it to fit like this, and it helps so much.
Well, I think the other thing about being frank or candid or clear is someone else will come up and say, me too.
Yeah.
Or that's happened to me, or I'm going to follow this because it's happening to me too, or it happened to me and this is what I did. So, being frank and clear is definitely a positive thing.
So then conversely, if you are reacting to someone's post or something in the group, make sure that you're not making some assumption maybe.
Well, that's true.
About either how they want to look, how they got there. Because, the other thing that lady shared when she was dealing with the abdominal apron, and some wonderful things came out of it.
I know what you're going to talk about because this is what I was going to say.
Somebody said that in Beverly Johnson's craftsy class, she covers the abdominal apron, like, fitting issue. And I thought, I didn't know that, How wonderful that this lady can now know that's covered somewhere, in detail. But yeah, someone said, well, won't your insurance cover that surgery to remove that skin or something? If that comment crosses your mind, you need...
Well, and someone else told her exactly how to go to work and make extra money to pay for it. Well,
no,
first of all, it's not that simple.
And do you think that this woman hadn't thought about that already?
Right. Yeah, so, that's a little bit condescending.
Think before you react. And you might think, if I had this problem, I'd do it this way.
And you'll get a lot of people will do this when you have a medical problem. They'll go, well,
just
haven't
eat
you
this?
Just be gluten free. It'll fix everything, And here you're struggling with all of this stuff, and you've seen all these physicians, and you've tried everything on her. Like they think like you haven't thought through this stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. You're struggling, and they think, I had someone tell me one time that all I had to do was stop eating lettuce.
Yeah.
And man, I'll tell you what, that would be wonderful.
If you could cure all your ills.
Right. Just don't eat lettuce, you'll be fine.
Okay, so let's just start. We came up with a few situations where we were sewing for like a changing sized body. And we seem to be on a little bit of like the health topic right now.
Right.
So fluctuation in size, rapid weight gain or rapid weight loss are, I think, 3. So like you could have, like you say, you fluctuate. You kind of know, I got these 3 bra sizes.
Right.
You know.
Well, and then I have another issue with abdominal bloating.
Yeah, there you go.
And don't you remember the time we were at Baby Lock Tech, and I drove down the clothes that literally I drove down in, I could not wear anymore.
Right.
And I went to the closet to change to go to the opening ceremonies, and what I was going to wear, did not fit me. And I'm not a very big person, so sometimes, it doesn't have to be a real severe change.
Yeah, it wasn't like...
Well, but apparently my abdomen was 3 or 4 inches bigger.
Larger, yeah,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
My girth.
Uh-huh.
And I wound up wearing a dress I think that I was going to wear the last night I was there or something, so we did. And I was going, I'm not going to.
I had to give Mom a pep
yes,
talk.
You're going.
Yeah, I had to give Mom a pep talk.
And what was funny is the next morning I fit in all those clothes. And that was without a trip to the bathroom. I just want to tell you all that. It's that weird of a disease.
Yes.
It's called inflammation.
Yeah, it is very strange.
Yeah.
This can also happen when people talk about their menstrual cycle.
Absolutely.
Okay, so solution. Let's not just... Your body can change size. Big news flash,
Hey,
right?
by the way, your body is really screwed up.
Yes.
And you're just screwed. There's nothing we can do about it. Just sit around and have a fit like me and let Mallory give you a pep talk.
That's
and maybe
right.
she'll get you out the door. I don't know.
Okay, so solution. I really do think that knits.
Knits are good.
Knits can really be a big positive. If you don't sew with knits or you're afraid to sew with knits, I think everyone should try and get comfortable with them, whether or not you have a changing, a situation where your body changes a lot. Anyway.
Well, the whole idea is there is ease built into a knit.
That's right.
So it means it goes down and it goes up.
The other thing I want to bring up is someone posted, I think maybe they were having a weight loss surgery of some kind.
Uh-huh.
And they said, I want to make myself clothes, but I don't want to spend all this time
Right.
but I need clothes right now. And a lot of people were commenting, sew for the body you have right now because you'll be happy. Now, I want to put a little, I would give the same advice, except I'd say, but don't make yourself some kind of 16-piece woven corset that is super fitted.
Right. You need a pair of pants and a tunic.
Yes.
Well, and the other thing you need is, make yourself 2 pair of pants or 2 skirts or whatever, and then make yourself 5 or 6 blouses.
Mm-hmm.
That can take you through. And the thing is you need to look good when you're changing those sizes.
Yeah, and you want to feel happy now.
Yeah, you want to feel happy. You want to feel like if someone says, "Oh, let's go do this," or let's go to a movie, that you feel like you can go to your closet. Oh, I've got those black pants. They always look good on me, no matter what, how I'm feeling or what. And I've got this top to put on.
So some neutral colors, I think, can be helpful to have on hand.
Right.
Because if you want to make some kind of statement piece, that's awesome.
Right.
But then you can also maybe mix and match with some ready to wear that you already
That's
have.
right.
Or so if you, like you said, black pants.
Right.
Right now, I'm pregnant. So we didn't cover pregnancy, but we'll cover that in a
Well,
little bit.
I've got it right here.
Okay.
Okay, here's what my list... wait. Here's what my list says. It says weight, fluctuation, pregnancy, which is shape and weight fluctuation, right? And then I have growing children.
Well, we'll get to that.
And then we have the health issues. Right?
Yes. I think we'll get to the growing children last. So, having these black leggings that I've made has just been awesome. They can go with anything.
And maybe black leggings aren't your thing.
Right.
But you aren't going to wear them the rest of your life. You're going to get to a point where, I'm making clothes that are going to last me longer.
Right.
But black leggings right now are doing the trick for you.
So if someone is losing a lot of weight, I have a family member on my husband's side who had weight loss surgery.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, I need to learn to alter my own clothes because I'm going to go from this size and they think I'm going to go down to this size. And I was like, at some point, you have to just make or buy new clothing.
And I think this was common when I was doing alterations, is someone would come in, men, because I don't know what they don't understand or if it doesn't work in their brain, but they would come in and they were wearing a size 40 jacket now, and they would bring in the size 52 jackets and say, can you cut this down? I go, well, I can remake it, which meant I would take it apart and recut it. I couldn't alter that. There was totally not and I said, you're really better off donating these.
And getting
yourself one or two nice jackets,
right.
Or someone would bring in their father's jacket. My dad died, and he always wore this, and I'd like this to fit me. And, if you're willing to pay for somebody to, or take your time to take that jacket apart and recut, because you can't just take the side seams in. That's not going to work.
Some garments that you can just take the side seams in on are, and this will just be a shameless plug, if you make something like the Easy Tee that is a Dolman sleeve, so the sleeve is not set in.
So there's not a shoulder break.
That's right. There's no shoulder break. And I teach the Easy Tee out of woven. It can also be made out of knit as well. That is a shirt where you get to define the width of the neckline.
That's right.
And I think that is a huge deal for a lot of our people who come into the group and they say, I'm a plus size person.
Right.
Things are so huge for me in the shoulders if I get them to fit my bust.
That's right.
Or they're huge for me in the neckline. Everything's too wide and then it fits me in the bust. And it's like, okay, well, according to traditional sizing, you might be a 6 or an 8 or a 10 in the neckline. And be like a 14 at your bust or something. Like such a
But your
big
arms
difference.
Aren't as big as round as the 14.
Sure,
maybe they're as big as round as the 6.
Absolutely. So when you do get to kind of like draft like that, and like the Easy Tee, the shaping is the side seam.
Right.
That's what the shaping is. So that you could make one of those last for a while.
For a couple sizes,
yes.
so to speak.
Yes.
Or, a couple of, maybe 20 or 30 pounds. Who
there
knows?
You go. You don't, depending on where you lose
it depends
or
on where
gain.
you lose it or how it happens. And it's the same way, I believe, with pants, like a pull-on pant or, leggings. Some people aren't comfortable in leggings.
Right.
Pull-on pants are great because, again, if you have a side seam on them, you can take them up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go 4, you can't go 4, 6, 8 sizes, but you might be able to go 2.
And you talked about tunics.
Right.
Which I think the most complicated part of I don't know.
Depends on who you are.
Yeah,
now.
depends on who you are. I was thinking the most
you were
complicated.
Saying like hips and crotch.
Well,
or
no,
middle?
I kept thinking, and then like in my mind, the area of the body kept just expanding all over the body. The hardest part of the body to fit. Okay. But what a tunic can do, okay, what it can do for some people, not everyone. If you sort of can make this thing fit around that bust area and then flow.
If it could hang from the bust, right.
It can last you a little longer.
Well, and pull-on pants are similar too. If you can make that go around your waist, around your bottom, around your crotch, whatever, and you have a comfortable, decent fit, and they hang. And you can slim them down.
Right.
You can slim the leg down or you can leave the leg wide. If you're nice and tall, you get to wear any kind of leg you want. If you're like me and you have too wide a leg, you look like a walking tree stump. It's what you're comfortable in and what you feel you look right in. And the flow of the fabric is very important.
That's what I wanted to talk about, yes.
Right. So with a pull-on pant, when I make a pull-on pant for myself, I have a pretty flowy fabric.
Drapey, flowy.
Yeah, drapey, flowy, and oftentimes it's a knit.
And,
or like a rayon knit.
That can kind of fit at your waist.
Right.
It can go out over your hips, butt area, and kind of like go down.
Well, I had surgery on my leg, it was a little over a year ago. And it wasn't the surgery so much, but I had this massive bandage for a really long time. And there was like a lump on my leg. Well, I even thought, I'll wear leggings. It'll hold the bandage in place and all this. Well, that did not work.
Right.
Okay, it slid down in the leggings. So I wound up making like 3 pair of pull-on pants that were just wonderful. I wore them the whole time. I still wear them, actually. But they accommodated the bulk of that bandage, and no one was going, what's that big lump on your leg? Right.
Well, I think that the flowy fabric is also good. I'm just going to go back to the Easy Tee, because I had a couple people make Easy Tees. They're like, I feel like I'm wearing a tent. Now, the Easy Tee is something that has no darts. It's a pancake pattern. So it is really dependent, I think, a lot, and I make this clear in the class, on the drapiness of the fabric, on the flowiness of the fabric.
But I think that's pretty much a standard rule. If you have a stiffer fabric, you need to have more shaping to the garment. If you have a flowy fabric, it will tend to flow for you. Now, there are some things that are clingy that people don't like, that are flowy.
Yes.
So flow and cling are two different things.
Well, and so you just said the stiffer that fabric, the more shaping it needs.
The more shape it needs.
Okay, well, if we're somebody whose shape is changing a lot, maybe we don't want to put a ton of effort into a super fitted, tailored.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just following the logic.
You need to wear a flowy cardigan and not a jacket, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Maybe you don't want to tailor.
Or if you want to look a little bit more tailored, put cuffs on that cardigan and put a collar on it, but keep the body of it flowy.
I have this idea about, I want like knit button-up shirts.
Yes. Yeah, and sometimes you can put a woven yoke on them or a woven collar or something like that.
That's exactly what I want to do. The reason I want this for me right now is because of pregnancy and nursing.
Right.
And so the fabric choices can be such a big deal. And then I don't want to get into the term, quote, flattering too much, because I think that might be its own podcast. Okay. But when someone asks, what can I do to make this look a little more professional, flattering, formal, they'll use some kind of word like that. I think something that I really like to do is color block.
That's true.
And there are lots of different ways to color block. And we could go into that, but keep in mind that you don't have to wear all one fabric on you. You can color block horizontally and vertically and asymmetrically and all this stuff. And sometimes it can make a very simple garment, i.e. one that didn't take you a ton of time, that you can alter and make it look like more visually interesting.
Absolutely. Well, it takes the eye. It makes the eye move.
Yeah,
instead of being stagnant.
Wherever you're wanting it to move, you can achieve that.
And you can use the curved line. You can use the straight line.
Sure.
Who was it? Maybe it was Lonnie who had put a yoke on something, and she went like straight across, and she said, why doesn't this look right? And I go, all you have to do is barely curve it. And you have to be careful. It looks straight maybe when you're wearing it, but it's actually a curved line. So you have to be careful about those really straight lines. Sometimes you need a little curve at the edge or the end or something to sort of, wrap the body visually, I guess is what I would say.
I kind of waffle on that term flattering because sometimes it's used in a demeaning way.
And I honestly...
But then I want my clothing to flatter me.
Well, I was going to say, I kind of like that word because I think if I put something on and I find it flattering, it also means it probably fits me well. Yeah. It's right for my body type, and I feel comfortable. So I have flattered myself, and I'm ready to go out in the world and feel all right about myself.
What can happen, and I don't think Quinn will mind me talking about this because she's
really good about talking about this.
She puts herself out there.
Right.
She blogs for the Lingerie Addict.
Yes.
And Quinn doesn't have like washboard abs. Okay. She wears a fairly large cup size.
Like my new friend Brian, the aerialist.
Yeah. Brian has washboard abs.
I knew he had something that core was so strong. And I find out he's an aerialist.
So Quinn blogs for the Lingerie Addict. She was reviewing a lingerie set, and she was showing her body in a bra and a panty.
Right.
And her stomach is not what you see
flat, tight, whatever
on Victoria's Secret models and stuff. And some comments used the word flattering in a way that was just plain old bitchy. This isn't a very flattering set on her.
So you think they were talking about her body and not the clothes?
Yeah, no, they totally were. Right. Or so someone who doesn't have the body of, I'm saying Victoria's Secret model, I might be making a broad generalization there, isn't supposed to
wear
show
that
themselves
or
in a
show
bra
that.
and panty.
Right. No, I think they should, so we all feel okay.
Well,
it's kind of okay. This might not be a good
but
analogy.
it's not their business.
Well, it's not.
What's flattering on that person?
But this might be a really terrible analogy, and I'm going to throw it out there, and you can tell me what's wrong with it. Okay. Like, I really like it when I go to somebody's house and it's messy, because mine's messy too. So that I don't feel so bad about my messy house. So, like, if my body's not perfect, I'm fine if your body's not perfect or what someone assumes is perfect.
Let me put a little spin on that. Representation of different body types is important. And when we even say the word body types, that can be problematic, because then we can be putting value judgments on like certain body types or whatever. So the fact that the lingerie addict decides to publish posts and reviews from people of diverse body shapes, I think is great. But, Quinn, I'm sure when she published that review, knew that she was going to get some bitchy feedback like that from people who think that her body shouldn't be photographed and put up. They think that
it's really the minority of people who are, modeling Victoria's Secret underwear.
No, I know.
That's the minority shape.
But it's not the minority of what's represented in the media. What's represented in the media all the time.
The media is representing a minority as being a majority.
Sure.
Right.
Sure. So that's where the word flattering can get kind of...
That's why I let you put that commercial with my middle showing, and it's not perfect.
Commercial?
Yeah, for LA Finch Fabrics.
Oh, I don't know if we've published that yet. I was like...
But Mallory puts my funny
So you
belly.
think it's not flattering?
No, I think it's exactly what my belly looks like.
There you go. Okay. So
and it's not perfect. It's 65 years old, and somebody ripped it open one time and did surgery on it and put it back together. And you know what? I'm standing up on a paddleboard.
So here we are. We are. But there definitely are people out there who use the word flattering in a bitchy, crappy, rude way.
Yeah. Words are funny.
Even though I, like you said, I do want to be flattered in my clothing. I do color block in a certain way because I like the way it makes my body look. And I think that's like the definition of the word flattering. So, okay, well, we've talked for a while without taking a message break. So we need to do that. Do you have something else before we...
No, go right ahead.
All right, well, we'll pause for a message break here. Episode is brought to you by Zede's favorite scissors, the 6-inch comfort handle shears that are on our website. You can go to sewhere.com/shop and check out the scissors in the collection cutting implements. So tell us why you like them so much.
Snip, snip. Well, you said they were 6.5 inches, right?
They're called the 6-inch comfort handle shears. Yeah.
But the blade is only like 2 inches.
That's right.
So most of the room in these scissors is made for your hand. I can get like all 4 of my fingers in the one handle and a thumb in the other.
Yeah, and they're a little. The word squishy might not be.
Well, they are.
They're flexible,
very flexible, pliable, or whatever. Now, I have a small hand, so maybe some people are only going to get 3 fingers. But what I'm trying to get across is the handle is the size of a large pair of scissors.
Right.
Yet the blade is small, easy to get into, really good for those little snips. They're great for even trimming embroidery threads, things like that. They're very light.
A lot of people have said that their rotary cutter and these are what they use in their sewing studio, and that's what we do.
Need. It really is.
So you can, we cut out all of our patterns with rotary cutter, and then this is what we use for trimming, notching, all that jazz.
Absolutely. The other thing is, they're not left-handed or right-handed.
That's right.
They're ambidextrous.
They're ambidextrous shears.
So you lefties, you can be real happy with a pair of these.
And if you're wondering if anybody actually likes these, you can go to the group,
Really?
the Self-Sewn Wardrobe group, and just search for Zede's favorite scissors, and you'll be regaled with reviews about people who love them, who got them in their dressmaker's delight box. So once again, go to sewhere.com/shop and check out those 6-inch comfort handle shears. They are Zede's favorites. Sewing out loud.
We're back.
Okay, so we're going to talk about pregnancy.
You could take a picture of my back and put it on the website. That wouldn't bother me.
Do you think your back is flattering? Do you think you're...
Well,
you like it better?
No, not particularly, but...
Anyway, okay, moving on. Pregnancy. I'm pregnant.
I'm not.
I'm real pregnant right now.
Used to be pregnant, not anymore. Actually, we were in one of Mallory's appointments yesterday, and there was this other family sort of sitting in there waiting to see the OBGYN, and I don't know what happened, but the daughter said something to the mother there, and I said, "Is she mean to you?" And she goes, "Yeah, all the time." And I said, "You know, she's mean to me, and I didn't even plan on having her, and I had her anyway." And everybody did laugh.
These are the kind of like, non-PC jokes that Mom makes. Like in she just like, likes to. They
laughed. They had a good time.
They did.
They lightened up their day.
Yes. I'm sure.
Yeah. They probably said.
They're like, that lady's crazy. Why did she talk to us in the
I
waiting
think what
room?
happened is they got in the car and there was like, "Oh my God, that weird woman. Did you hear her talk?" And she said she didn't even want her daughter.
Anyway, okay, pregnancy.
I like spreading joy. Go ahead.
Pregnancy is so different for everyone that just like with the health and fluctuation.
Yes, and I don't like the people that just have the little ball in front and nothing changes except they have a little ball in front.
You don't like them?
No.
You're not supposed to say that, Mom. You're not supposed to say you don't like people.
Well, I'm just so envious of them. I can barely stand it. Like, how does someone get pregnant and their butt not get bigger?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
It does happen.
I know. I've seen it.
So that's why.
But it wasn't me.
That's why so you've got these Western beauty ideals ingrained in you that your butt shouldn't get bigger and that having a little ball is better.
No, I just couldn't believe my butt could get that big. I mean, I had people say to me, "You'll never be the same." People said that to me, men and women.
This is really funny because the way people talk about pregnancy weight gain is real weird to me sometimes. They'll say like, "Oh, well, I've had babies, so I'm like this now," or "I have a mom
body. The mom body thing bothers me. Yeah,
or I get it. Pregnancy is a huge change for your body and can affect it for the rest of your life.
It's like this dreadful use of your body.
For sure. Like, I'm not saying
it's wear and tear.
I'm not saying anyone has like some obligation to look like they did before they were pregnant or get to like a certain, shape or size after they have the baby. But like, I personally don't feel that way about my body. I don't feel like I have like a mom body.
When somebody says that, I'm not even sure exactly what they mean. I just feel like it's not complimentary.
Yeah, it's kind of...
I don't know what a mom body looks like.
I feel like they're kind of downing on themselves,
a little bit. Say, "Oh, well, she's got a mom body," or "I got a mom body." I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right, or "I've had babies, so
I mean, I know one thing, that your breast probably dropped.
Well,
I can guarantee that's part of it. They do not have the infrastructure they once have.
They deflated.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't honestly know exactly what that means.
And like I said, I mean, anybody can... I don't have a problem with someone being like, "I had children and then my body changed." Like,
right.
Duh, okay. But yeah, that's a little... I don't know. I'm not going to explore that a
ton.
Well,
they talk about the dad body too, and I is that a beer belly? What is that?
Yeah.
Are you just pudgier? You can't see your... I don't know.
So
you don't look like you did when you were 16? Of course you don't.
Right. So I definitely, with the pregnancy stuff, work with knits, for sure. And then
you make clothes that grow with you, so to speak.
Sure.
Yes.
I think the harder thing is after you have the baby.
Well, I think your body changes more rapidly afterwards.
Right.
Almost.
You were growing sort of gradually.
Well, and you kind of too go, "Well, I'm going to get a baby out of this."
Yeah, right.
It's like there's some reward at the end. Even if you don't like your body, it's like, okay, it's heavy, it's uncomfortable, it's big, I sweat a lot, but I'm going to get a baby. Yeah, but I'm going to get a baby. From all this discomfort and, all these things I don't like, I'll still get a baby.
So I've been wearing the crop top and the high leggings combo.
Right.
And that's been... I didn't do that last time.
I think your crop top's going to be great for afterwards. You can
I think
nurse
it will be
really
too.
nice.
I think I'll be able to nurse. But yeah, nursing and then the gushiness, like you had this big baby and placenta and amniotic fluid and stuff in your belly. And then it all goes away when you have the baby. And then you kind of have this like weird blob thing.
You mean that Jello belly that you can like tuck away to either side
or whatever.
Yeah.
And like you don't know how fast it's gonna change.
Well, you can't believe it's even there.
Well,
it's so weird looking.
I looked pregnant for a few weeks after, and then some people don't, and then some people, slim down. Some people have the diastasis, like we were talking about. So I am just going to rely on what I relied on last time, which are nursing tank tops with a T-shirt over them.
Well,
that's
what what happened to me with my first pregnancy is I said and I was in a weird situation. My mother was dying and all this. And so I'm coming home from the hospital and I say to my husband, well, bring me this maternity top and these maternity pants. And the maternity top would not go over my boobs.
Right. So
because my milk came in. So I honestly did not believe my breasts could get bigger than what they were.
Right.
It was beyond me that there could be anything bigger than this. And my milk. And so I wound up wearing his shirt home. I can't remember. Like he had one in the. Oh, it was my father's shirt. For some reason, we had my father's shirt in our car or something, and I wore my dad's shirt home from the house. I was so cute.
I mean, even if you don't end up like nursing, your breasts will still change size. Possibly. Now, so speaking of Quinn runs a lingerie line and a loungewear line, and she recently had a sample sale. And I've been eyeing this silk jersey cardigan for years. And so I bought it. I bought a medium and I got it. And I put it on. It fits me in the shoulders.
Well,
and
that's
I'm like,
all you got to go by.
Okay, all right. I was like, great. I'll be able to wear this someday, somehow,
So let's just capsulize this.
Yes.
Because I think, even though these are different things, weight loss, weight gain, medical issues.
They're very similar.
And the medical issue includes maybe a bloating or a body change or something surgical
sure.
or a feeding tube for a while or something that you've got to.
Colostomy bag.
Something you might have to, a catheter, maybe an indwelling catheter or something like that you've got to deal with for a while. And also, like I brought up, the bloating or the body change from medication. A lot of medication makes you put on fat pads in places or retain water. There's all kinds of things. I have retained water where I couldn't wear certain shoes.
Oh, yeah.
From a medication. So anyway, those I think can kind of all go together. And, what I have had to do is actually have like 2 different size clothes or 3 different size bras. And I hate it. Because I feel like my closet's really full, and I can go a year without maybe wearing that pair of pants, so to speak.
But you'd be sorry if
and then if I get rid of them, I'm saying to Mallory, guess what? I don't have any pants I can wear any place.
Right. No, I agree that we can kind of wrap up the pregnancy thing.
So I think, you have to plan. I don't think you put too much time in it. If you know you're changing and, make yourself sit down and, like I said, 2 bottoms, 6 tops, whatever.
Right.
Decide what works for you. And that also goes with, like, how often do you get to do laundry? Or is laundry available to you? Things like that.
Or how often you get to sew, too. Like, if you're someone who finds yourself with, like, a ton of sewing time, put however much time you want into
and I will
that,
tell you, when I first got out of the hospital, I remember I had you go buy me some pair of pants. I felt so weird about my body. I didn't want to sew for it.
Right. Yeah.
Go buy me those stretchy pants to get around my abdomen so I can get to the doctor in them. I do not want to put my energy into what I'm dealing with right now.
Right.
And I didn't feel well either, but I didn't want to, I wanted to save my energy and my thoughts for the clothes I was eventually going to wear.
Yeah. And I don't think it's all bad to put it off a little bit.
Right.
Like,
like I said, go and buy yourself a pair of, box store pants.
Yeah, that's what I kind of wanted to say earlier is like, well, people were saying, so for the body you have, love yourself right now,
Right.
da-da-da. Yes, but like some people, if they know that they're going to go through that
Right.
really big change in their body, it's sort of like, well, I'm going to wait until I plateau a little bit.
Well, and another thing is,
it's okay
you're
to do that
actually your
too.
sort of fashion sense might change a little bit. You know,
who knows?
you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know.
And
You might be able to wear something a style you've never worn before.
Right, or something new comes out. And, I truly believe that I'm going to be able to get back into those I made a size 10 ginger jeans,
Right.
and then I made a size 8 later.
And jeans are a hard thing when you're fluctuating.
But I personally, I have some pairs cut out of the size 8.
Right.
And I'm going to work on them.
Right.
I'm going to make them. And, I don't know if that's hubris or something, but I'm I fit really well into that size before.
Right.
It may take me the 10 months that it took me
Well,
last
it may
time.
also be a goal for you.
Yeah, and I think that's okay too.
Yeah, you're going to start working out. Different
Yeah.
things are going to happen.
And
so
that
your body's going to change.
That is a goal of mine, and it's okay to have weight loss goals. It's okay to have those goals too. But just just be conscious and don't feel ashamed of any of your choices.
And I don't. Tell me which sister lifts weights.
Glenda,
yeah. So I don't know about Glenda. I don't have weight goals. I have strength goals. And what happens is my body changes because I have strength goals.
Well, that's true too.
So, it's not always just the weight that changes your circumference. So my waist got smaller and my arms got bigger and, funny things like that.
No, and she talks about sewing for her weightlifter thighs.
Well, she has the big thighs, right? The huge, massive, beautiful.
Calm down, Mom.
I have to. Okay, everybody. I really like muscle I can see. That looks like I can dissect it. I love that kind of stuff. I'm sorry.
Mom wishes she could deadlift as much as Glenda does.
I know.
I think so.
Well,
anyway.
I'm living through her.
I don't know. We're going to talk about kids real quick.
I think
growth pleats. Okay.
Yeah. Pleats and tucks for those kids.
The end.
First of all, why did my children not have leggings?
Yeah, you're talking
about
how
we had sweatpants, but we didn't have leggings. I mean, those leggings, we put those leggings on Zelda, and she could wear it. We make them a little bit too long, and then they get about to her ankle, and then they're above her ankle, and then they're capris, and then she wears them forever.
Right. Yeah, leggings are
right.
And leggings can work. Well, oh gosh. So I had a little girl, Zelda. She's 2, and now I'm having a little boy, and I'm really sort of. And I was a little girl, right? And I've been a woman all my life, and stuff. And now I'm gonna have this little boy, and part of me is what kind of gender, stereotypes live in my brain,
right?
That I'm gonna be he can wear this but not this, or because she's in all sorts of stuff, right? She's in pants and skirts and da-da-da-da-da.
Yes, and you do know that the boys the grandchildren I do have that are boys, they're wearing tutus and stuff. And
well,
they love that
for
stuff,
sure, for sure.
They love that stuff. They love being princesses and everything else.
So, I'm going to go into this parenting of a little boy child,
a unlike gendered child.
Not just sort of, I'm trying to go into it with a really open mind. One of our group members posted, she made her son a skirt, and the quote was from him, "Oh my gosh, wearing a skirt is like being naked, but no one can see your penis."
Okay, I think there's a lot of men out there that would love to be in a skirt, feeling free.
Then someone else comments and says, "Wait till he finds out that a dress is like a skirt but has no waistband." So I'm gonna really let that guide me, in my kids' comfort and stuff. But also, I thought it was kind of funny because I decided that I had bought Zelda some little shorts, and shorts that are marketed toward young girls, even 2-year-olds, are so short.
Yeah.
They're up in their crotch,
Right.
And she was playing around outside, and she kept scratching her thighs. She's climbing up and off the
climbs
dock
and
all this stuff. And I thought, I want her to wear knee-length shorts if she's going to wear shorts. And I was I'm just going to put her in leggings all the time. It's just what I'm going to do.
And I think, the thing you have to know about children is babies have a big head.
Yeah.
You have to worry about that, okay? But, and their body grows to fit their head for a while. And the other thing is a lot of children grow tall and don't particularly get much wider.
Yes.
You know,
that is a very common.
I think that's very common that I used to make things for Hillary. We called her Stick Girl. And, she wore I had this size 2 pattern I drafted that she wore till she was 5.
Right.
I just kept making it longer.
And longer
right,
and longer.
Right. And, those were things we did with wovens. We would put tucks in the pants that we could let out.
The big thing nowadays is the cuffs that you roll up.
Right. Like the ham hot. It's a ham hot cuff.
Yes.
And so, you can make these little pair of leggings with this cuff that's 5 or 6 inches long, so it looks, or whatever, however long it is.
Right.
But it rolls up and rolls down and all that.
There's another sewing podcaster, and she has a pattern company called Apple Tree Sewing Patterns, and I'm in that group. And she is Canadian, so one of her patterns is the bunny hug.
Yeah.
And she has a Grow With Me romper.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone didn't call it Grow With Me. What did they call it? An not evolutionary. Evolutive? Is that a word?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a cool word, not grow with me. It's when is the evolutive? I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'd literally never seen the word ever.
Right.
I got it. I was like, okay, it changes with you, right? Romper coming out, and I was like, oh, that's cool. So her thing is that a lot of her children's clothing patterns incorporate these cuffs,
right,
to help them grow with.
Well,
them,
and I think one of the things we've done with little girls a lot too is you can start out. It's a dress and then it's a tunic and then it's a shirt. If they don't get much wider in the top, and there's some ease in that garment, they can wear a dress as a shirt at some point in time.
Yeah, and so then I'm like, well, why am I not making my little boy dresses?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
If I would ever go purchase a coat, especially it's something that was a little bit more substantial or a snowsuit or something that I actually purchased, I would try you guys in a size. And then, if you fit in the 3, then I would try you in the 4.
Oh, sure.
And if the 4 wasn't too big, I considered that, room to grow in. So maybe we would get 2 seasons out of it.
I do think that the growth pleats or the cuffs or something like that can be very helpful. And then if you are sewing for your kid, you could include a larger seam allowance, right, Mom?
Yes.
Especially if you're not using a knit, if you're using a woven,
Well, and you do have to consider, is that going to show? Are you going to, you're going to have to put some trim over it when you let it out? The other thing about this is if you have multiple children, clothes get passed down. You may not want that much of an alteration to them. You may preserve them for the next child. And we've done a lot of things with Hillary's kids where Catherine, doesn't always get a pink coat anymore. She gets a blue coat.
Right.
Or she gets a navy blue coat. Or, she prefers a boy jacket that easily can be passed down to her brothers.
And then, but then part of me is I'm just really grappling with the whole gender thing.
Well, you cannot put, I'm telling you cannot put your son in, a pink jacket with metallic flowers on it and send him to 3rd grade. It won't float.
What if that's what he wants to wear?
If that's what he wants to wear, it's probably fine. But more than likely, he's going to get, he's going to,
I don't know. By the time he's in 3rd grade, maybe the world will have changed.
If the world's better and that's more acceptable, then you can do it. I mean, it wouldn't bother me.
No, it doesn't bother me either.
Right,
right. But this is sort of what we are grappling with, I feel like, as a society, as, the gender barriers get broken down.
Well, I never could figure out how people had their children dressed perfectly in the grocery store. Because when we went to the grocery store, you guys had on your clothes, but then you had a tiara on your head and a necklace, and you would have these things on you were playing with, and we would go to the grocery store like that. And I guess people looked at us and thought we were weird.
Yeah.
And you know what? You were fine with it. I was fine with it.
There you go. Okay, well, that's been our podcast on sewing for body changes. And, you can follow Zede on Instagram now. And she's Zede Donahue.
Maybe if I ever post anything.
Yeah.
Is it called posting on there?
It is called posting. Okay. Yeah.
It's not called gramming or anything.
Well, you can say that you Instagrammed something.
Right.
And you can tell her about how it's fine for little boys to wear pink coats with
I'm just saying
sparkle
it's
stars
fine with me. I'm just saying it might not float in certain neighborhoods. That's all I'm telling you.
Yep. No, that is the reality.
I mean, the best thing about going to like a gay pride parade or something is everybody wears what they want, and nobody seems to think anything is out of the ordinary. It's just like, and just wear what you want to wear.
There you go. Okay, well, you can get a hold of Zede on Instagram. Tell her how you feel. She's at Zede Donahue, and we're the official Sew Here account is Zede's Sewing Studio. And you can email me at Mallory@sewhere.com.
So long and so happy.
Thanks for listening to Sewing Out Loud. For even more expert sewing advice, visit sewhere.com.